Hey guys, welcome to Talk Football. This is Josh MUFC with you, doing my debut on the channel. Now, what we have today for you is a little bit of breaking news. It has been out in the Twitter sphere and the stratosphere for a little while now, but I just thought I'd come to you now and just give you a quick rundown of what's going on here. Now, in case you're wondering, the title is Breaking News, a Micheal Knighton Consortium looking to submit a bid for purchase of Manchester United from the Glazers. Now, I will start this with an addendum saying that it's only news, it's only speculation at the moment, but it seems to be one of the more solid and more phone fell down. One of the more concrete pieces of news regarding a takeover of Manchester United. So, firstly, I'll just bring in the extra screen here just to give you a quick rundown of what the story is saying. Now here we see on the mirror, so take that with a grain of salt, but as we see there, Micheal Knighton wants to oust the Glazers. So what we're saying on the page here is Man United are subject of a hostile takeover bid from group to buy club from useless Glazers, in brackets. Now, when they say hostile bid, basically saying that while the club is not for sale, they're still going to try and submit a bid anyway. They don't mean hostile as in we're going to go in with torches and pitchforks and AKs and try and shoot through the Glazers. It's nothing like that. Anyway, we'll move down the article slightly. Ex-Manchester United director Micheal Knighton has confirmed he's planning to buy the club from the Glazer family. So, for those of you who don't know, Micheal Knighton was on the board of directors, I think, from 1989 to 1992. So he did formally try to buy the club. I think it was for like £20 million or something way back in the day. So, and it kind of, he missed the deadline or something, and instead of submitting a bid, he decided to get a seat on the board, and he was there for a little while. So anyway, moving on. The flamboyant 70-year-old businessman who famously came close to buying the club in 1989 hopes to submit a formal bid as part of a consortium which aims to end the Glazers' tumultuous 17-year-old reign. So, what? Just for a little bit of background, he is basically the guy who created a financial blueprint that he put to the club back in his time there, where it basically gave them an outline on how to become commercially viable and self-funded, which basically turned United into a financial powerhouse in the 90s and into the 2000s. Obviously, the Glazers came in and ruined it all, and it's been on a slow, steady decline since then. But anyway, he has sided with, I think it's the 1958 fan group, and he's basically been pushing to get a consortium together for a while, and he's had some luck. He's been doing some interviews on fan media. He has been linked with some of the protests that have been done outside Old Trafford, but he's always said that, you know, there needs to be a united fan base from Manchester United fans, which is very hard to do because you have your top reds, you have your social media people, you have giant platforms that peddle their own agendas, which sickens me. As if some fans are better than the others, which is completely ludicrous and not the way to actually get something this serious and this concrete over the line. So anyway, I'll go back to the article here. So just go down here. Some of his quotes from an interview. We are a club in crisis, and we all know the reason why. We have an inept and frankly useless ownership who know little about this game of football. Everyone knows that we need new ownership of this football club, and that is my aim, and those are my objectives. I am making good progress, continuing to talk to the people. I have got some pledges and some good finance. So basically, that is saying that he has people that will back him, get into a consortium, and have pledged certain amounts of money to what I assume would be close to or over the value of Manchester United and what the Glazers value them at. Anyway, we'll move on a little bit more. We are now working on the offer document. Remember, it is a hostile bid. That simply means that the club isn't officially for sale, but my intention is to present these owners with a legitimate, potent, and commercial offer to say you have run out of road, it's time to go because your time is up. That right there is a very, very key quote. This guy is passionate. He is a football mind. He has previously been involved at the club, and he actually was a critical component into transforming Manchester United into the commercial success it is. And basically, the Glazers have just, as we all know, they've been pumping dividends, taking dividends, not pumping any money of their own money into the club, and basically going from commercial strength to commercial strength while sacrificing good and legitimate football decisions. So this, while I'm not sure how serious it is, does strike me as some very good news because it seems like someone is actually legitimately putting in good groundwork, getting fans on side, getting funding and capital to actually go and give a solid offer to these Glazers, possibly one they can't refuse. So anyway, I'll just hold on to that point at the moment. I'll duck down into the comments and see what we're all saying here. Anthony, my fellow panelist, who actually isn't with me tonight, so this hence me going solo, hence me doing this this debut in the Josh Reacts, which will be a permanent fixture moving forward, just so you know. Never know when a thing could drop. Might just be a spontaneous phone rant. We don't know. I don't know. It's whenever the mood strikes. So as Anthony rightly says, smash the like people. Smash the like people. I'll smash the like people. People, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Go on and just take your shoes off, get comfortable. This is going to be a decently length stream, and we'll see how we go through this. Anyway, we have Eagle-Eyed Football here. There's hope for you yet. This is probably, and big up to you for joining us. Thank you for coming in, my friend. It is probably the most concrete and serious bit of news and bid that has actually come in for a long time. There's obviously been, it feels like every couple of months there's a Saudi link or another American owner or someone that's looking an interest, but it's all just paper talk. Nothing's materialized. Where's the hope? The hope is in the heart. Who is Micheal Knighton? Look, there is a second article that basically describes who he is, just for the people that don't know who he is or haven't heard of him before. I've got that coming up a little bit later on. He looks nothing like Hasselhoff, mate. Just letting you know. Talking car. How did Micheal Knighton make his money? I have no bloody idea. Why did he go public before submitting the bid? I don't think he's going public, but it's not hard to track down the interest. Again, this is only fairly new to me. I've been sort of following the story in the background for the last couple of months. He's slowly and gradually been getting people to come in to his consortium and to look to buy out the club, but he hasn't literally come out, with planes and flyers and letter drops to say I'm taking it over. Things because it's hostile. This is exactly what he is doing. He's looking to get the fans on board. He's aligned himself with the 1958 fan group, which they're decently sized. I'm not sure if they're that large compared to, say, Top Reds or anything like that, but they're not closely linked like the Man United Supporters Trust, for example. But they've basically been responsible for a good percentage of the protests outside Old Trafford. I think these were the same guys who got the Liverpool game called off last season when they stormed the pitch and stole the corner flags, etc. So anyway, we'll get back into the story. Thank you for all your comments. So he goes on to say a little bit more. He's just saying that they've had enough of the regime, the exciting feeling of a new season, which we all have, and the balloon of excitement that is there. It was all burst when we quickly saw the performance against Brighton. The club is in crisis, and it will remain in crisis while we have this current ownership. And this is literally it. He has hit that nail on the head. Now, as I said before, he has been at the club before. He knows exactly how things should be operated. He's a football mind. I know he was at Carlisle for a while. I'm not sure if he was a director or whatnot. I haven't dived that far into him, which wasn't the best reign there. But we'll move on down here. Oh man, they're ugly. Anyway, so yeah, he's basically saying we need to get rid of them out of the football club. Their ownership has had their day and run out of time. 17 years of disappointment. It is time for them to go. They have to stop drawing large dividends out of the club, which every United fan will agree with. They have to stop paying these huge debt servicing costs. It is time for them to sell. Now, we could argue this has been the case for forever, but I feel like right now is the time that it's most prudent, now that we've got a manager that knows exactly what they're talking about. He's proven that he can actually instill a winning mentality into a team at Ajax. It's yet to be done with this squad. I think I'm having tech issues, actually. It might be a little bit, don't look very smooth on my screen. Anyway, I'll get back to it. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. This might answer a couple of these questions that you've got. Do you know enough about him to trust him? I can't say that I know a lot about him, except for what has been a little bit of searching in the background over the last couple of weeks, over the last month or so. But basically, I feel like he's been there during a successful period for United, and he was one of the major reasons that United became so profitable and so well off financially, because he actually had a document highlighting, as I said, self-sufficiency financially in the terms of commerciality, but also club infrastructure and getting the best in class. So we will see. Again, this is all, to me, speculation with a hint of seriousness. We've got some more action in the comments. Twisted, okay, we've got we've got some Crystal Palace hijacking here. More than welcome, more than welcome. This is a Premier League wide series. So yeah, we'll move on with the story. Now, this part right here, this is what I think a lot of people will be excited about. Knighton, who also noted that United fan and billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming forward after years of bubbling speculation about buying the club would solve all of the problems. And this is in reference into the consortium that he's gathered. He added, "My consortium is ready and waiting. The funds are pledged. The offer document is being drawn out and it will be presented. Until Jim comes, my consortium will be placing their bid very shortly. I can guarantee you this." Now, I would go further on, but it's just a lot more. I think that might be the end of it. Yep. Anyway, we'll skip out of this one and go into the next window. This might help you guys. Excuse my lag here. This is quite ridiculous. I feel like I'm connected to the internet via 2 cups and a string. Come on, you slow piece of crap. But yeah, see, this comment here by Twisted, right? Radcliffe wanted Chelsea, now United. See, this is where things are interesting, because I know Radcliffe was a United fan growing up, and he clearly has the money. He clearly was a part of those considered for buying Chelsea out over Roman Abramovich in the months gone by. So I think that's why the push from this consortium to try and get him on board. So anyway, we'll move on. I'm going to move over to the article here. So basically, who is Micheal Knighton? This will just give you a little bit of background. From what I understand, it will just give you a little bit of idea where he comes from, how serious this guy is, and basically anything that can answer any questions you may have about this person. So I will just have a quick browse. The 70-year-old is a former director at Old Trafford who came close to buying the Red Devils outright in 1989. Knighton famously juggled the ball on the Theatre of Dreams hallowed turf and smashed the ball into the Stretford end net to herald in a new era. His compelling strategy to purchase the club fell through. The crowd were wowed by their prospective owner, but 33 years later, he still isn't in charge. And again, it's not for the want of trying. Now, Knighton is now back with a new takeover plot, declaring that he's ready and waiting to submit a hostile bid. And as I previously said, hostile is basically submitting a bid when something isn't for sale. basically just to get rid of the Glazer family. So who is Micheal Knighton? It says a character, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. He's juggling all those years. Owner Martin Edwards was absolutely horrified by the charm offensive. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I kept saying to my made a big mistake. The other directors felt the same. They cringed and began to turn on Knighton. So at the time that he was putting in his bid or submission to buy the club, it was, I guess, his methods were out of fashion. If you can put it that way, if you want to say it that way. So we'll move on down here a little bit more. He's Derbyshire born. He stuck around in the Old Trafford director's box until 1992. Did have a fortune though. Knighton made his wealth in the property market, and when he departed Manchester, it was to buy another United at Carlisle. Right, so that explains what that is. Let's see, guiding the Blues to their first ever trip to Wembley to face Birmingham City in the Football League Trophy final in 95. His decade-long tenure resulted in him becoming the most reviled man in Cumbria, by his own admission. So they weren't a fan of his ownership. Again, this is sort of news to me, so bear with me while I take you through this, guys. 2,000 Carlisle fans attended a meeting on the final day of the 2001 season with the goal of orchestrating his exit. The Blues went into voluntary admission, with the team finishing bottom 3 of the Football League for 3 years in a row. So so basically I'm going to leave it at that for Micheal Knighton. Basically, that is him in a nutshell. So he's previously been involved with Manchester United on the board. He previously tried to buy in, but then got a seat on the board of directors. There's not a lot of information about who's on his consortium in the background, but the aim, I'm pretty sure, is to get Jim Ratcliffe maybe as one of the head people to sort of spearhead it and have that extra financial backing. Hang on, I'm just okay here for a second. Great track record. Well, he didn't do very well with Carlisle, from my understanding. So it might not look good on paper, but this guy has been around, so he does know a thing or two. Whether that's good or bad or indifferent, I don't know. We may see, we may not. So anyway, we'll move on down to be a little bit more. Said that, oh wow, something about aliens. All right, never mind. Okay, so look, basically from what I'm reading here, he is serious. He has documentation. He is ready to submit a bid to the Glazers. I personally don't see it happening. It is a level of excitement that I haven't had in regards to rumors like this before, because this is domestic based. This guy knows a lot of rich people he's accumulated a lot of rich people who have put in pledges to put a bid forward to the Glazers. The Glazers are very stubborn. They have not paid down debt. I don't know what sort of financial packaging that this potential offer will have, but look, the way I see it is that if something is incoming, we will see it in more of the mainstream press moving forward. It's frustrating because I'm sitting 50-50 whether it is speculation or whether it is legitimate. And my hope against hope is that the Glazers are ready to sell, and if this consortium comes in with 4, 5, 6 billion pounds of cash in hand and say, look, we'll give it to you, and you guys get out, and maybe that'll be enough to turn their heads, because we all know that over the last 10, 15 years of their reign, the club has exponentially grown in value, meaning that barely anyone except billionaires or trillionaires could actually come in and buy it out from underneath them. Josh, what's your thoughts on empty United hashtag? I actually haven't seen that late. Is that emptying Old Trafford? Is that doing a walkout during the match? Let me know in another comment, because if that is what it is, I think that's a great idea. While the arguments from other fan channels and social media is that the tickets are already bought, so they've already got their money. But something like that is a statement. If you say game week 3, for example, against Liverpool, the most watched game in the Premier League for the most part. If all of a sudden after, 15, 20 minutes, everyone turns around, walks out of the stadium, and they're playing an empty ground again, what a statement that will show. That will be worldwide. But if you want to leave just another comment explaining it a little bit, or I can even have a look on Twitter while I'm live. But yeah, I can maybe discuss that a bit further. So anyway, there is some other news actually. I just want to quickly, while I've got you all here, the head moderator had posted in WhatsApp about Frankie de Jong. So just let me see what I can find. Bear with me one moment, folks, because I am the best multitasker. The most I can do is pretty much shit and be on my phone at the same time. So that's all class from me. Don't mind me. Walk out during. Okay, exactly what I thought there. Okay. Walk out during the Liverpool game. Then yes, they invaded the pitch and got that game cancelled last season. So I am definitely for that, as I just went over. If it's to empty the entire place, then by all means, that is a massive statement. Or even better, get 75 odd thousand fans to stop the players coming in, to not ban the game, but defer the game again, divert it all. This is something like this that needs to happen, and not just one game either. To be completely fair with you, not just for one game. Every home game, make noise at the away games, make it consistent. Too many times have people, not too many times have people said they're going to do stuff. Like I remember Saeed, ex-United Stand, and he's there with Rants, and he has his own channel now. He tried to set up a protest at Old Trafford, and it was abysmal. There was a very small turning out because there was nothing concrete for them to nothing concrete for any of these people go out and actually protest about, because everyone was happy apart from the way the team were playing. So that's one thing. My computer is doing an absolute madness on me, so apologies. I'm not sure if I'm coming through clear or not. I am trying to get Twitter up. Anyway, I might just have to go via my phone. Excuse me for a moment, people. I apologize for this. This is let's see. So we got in the comments here. Even if he is successful in his attempt, it still won't make a blind bit of difference to Man United, as they will still overpay to sign players, pay too much in wages, and panic buy. Philip, thanks for your comment. Look, I think that you do have a point there. I think the idea, say, that Richard Arnold had for this transfer window and moving forward was to rearrange things to make sure that sort of incompetency at Manchester United wasn't moving forward. So it wasn't doing that. Because we look at the last few transfer windows. I said it on the stream the other night too. Like, even if he does come in and get that power, there's still this reputation of Man United being, exactly as you say, overpaying, paying too much in wages, and panicking. We look at Cavani, we look at Igalo, we look at Ronaldo. Not so much Varane, but there have been more than a few examples over the last 3, 5, 10 years post Fergie that it's been ridiculous. Brush, big up, man. Thank you for joining. Walking out means nothing as the ticket's already paid for. As long as the Glazers get their money, they don't care. That is one of the most common arguments leveled when it comes to walking out of the stadium. Yes, they've paid for in advance, and you're never going to get all 75,000+ fans walking out at once. You have people traveling from overseas that want to be there and experience the match. But if push comes to shove and they see a lot of people and empty seats in the biggest game of the season, surely that has to have more of a message than just season ticket holders remaining, or it's one of these things. The Glazers sitting pretty in Miami don't really give a fuck about what's going on at Old Trafford, but if there's constant news coming, that games have been diverted. There is lost revenue from television rights and all these sorts of things. Eventually, it will get through to them. Eventually, the pressure will build. Just look at the reaction from the fans when it came to the Super League across all of the teams involved. It just shows that fans still have so much power and so much say in what can go on in these football clubs. But when it comes to anything else, anything that's not upsetting the fabric of football, everyone is too divided to actually make a difference. This is why I'm excited about this bid, and even for the walkout. Like it's the right idea, but it again, there's so much division that it's not actually going to be that effective. Anyway, I'll move on. Smash a like, please do. Keep the support coming. Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you're all seeing, smash a like, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you all. Frankie de Jong has agreed personal terms with United. I thought that was the case already as of 6, 8, 10 weeks ago. It's one of those. I'm waiting to see what actually happens. I was trying to share some de Jong stuff, but internet issues are making it difficult. Move down into the chat a bit more. Eagle Eye Football. Internet troubles happens for all of us, mate. Keep going. Yeah. It's long. I'm on Wi-Fi, and normally I'd be on my my bedroom computer with the Ethernet, but it's Tesco Wi-Fi KG settings here, my guys. Our fan base is too big, bro. I like you said, people come from all over the world. They won't want to give up their chance to be there to walk out, and that's exactly the thing. I'm not going to be mad at the people that don't want to walk out. Like, it's hard to get a ticket to Old Trafford, and it's an experience. Like, one day I would love to go over to the UK, go to a home game, preferably against, say, Arsenal or Liverpool, one of those bigger traditional rivals, and just experience it, because, oh man, all the way over here in Australia, it's not the same watching on TV. Even domestic sports over here, like my rugby league, for example, I follow a team here. It's not the same as being at the ground, and I'd just love to do it. I can't blame them for a lot. They dream for that day at Old Trafford. It's something that I probably will never get to experience in my life, but God, it would be lovely to. And that, if that makes me a Glazer simp, then who gives a fuck? So I'm not sure if this is going to go against protocol for the channel, but I think if anyone is interested, I might just drop a link in the comments to come in and have a chat, just for another 10-15 minutes to kill a bit of time. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about here. So I'll drop in. Oh, here we go. I'll drop a link in the comments. If anyone wants to come on, just come onto YouTube and we'll have a bit of a chat. So I'm keen to hear anyone and everyone's thoughts. If that's going to work for me, maybe not. Paste. Where's the paste? There we go. I'll drop it in the comments and pin it. If anybody wants to come on and have their say, please do. I'll be here waiting. Twisted's left a comment. What have we got to say here? Josh, are you excited? I'm balanced, to be honest. I'm not really getting carried away with this stuff because, like I said, the Glazers are stubborn, and it's unlikely they'll want to sell. We know that they're not really wanting to sell in general, but you never know. Everything can be for sale at some point. If they have, just say the club's hypothetically valued at $5 billion, and if they come in with a $6 billion offer, they'd probably turn their head and say, you know what, screw it. We've bled this club. Time to go. We have Brush in the back room. I'll add you to the stream, buddy. I'll get you in. And
hey, mate, how's it going, Josh? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, good, bro. Good, bro. This news is pretty good. If it goes through, but look, what are your thoughts on this news? And give me your ideas and what you like and dislike.
On what? On the potential takeover?
Yeah, potential takeover, or any news that you've heard that you want to talk about.
In terms of the takeover, I'm not getting my hopes up too high until we hear something concrete. Honestly, I just don't see how we get rid of him, to be honest, because this is their cash cow. And as much as we care and love the club, you have to understand, for them, this is just an asset in their portfolio. a very valuable asset, and one that can always be used for them to take out any kind of loan they want. And they can use us as leverage to back against it to take out the loan for any future business interests or any of their other ventures, which is why this is so valuable.
Yeah, you've seen it in the past. Like, I don't doubt that some of those dividends brought Tom Brady to their NFL team. You know, this is just a funding for other ventures you have. You're so right with that.
And also, I mean, the head honcho who actually took over, I mean, he's passed away. So, you know, this is now just being passed through the Glazer bloodline.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw Avram there on game day 1, which was surprising to me, very surprising actually, because he never really shows up. It's usually Joel Glazer, and even then he's Anyway, I got pretty freaked out saying that. But like, they're ugly,
a lot of people have commented on the whole family being there, and they're speculating as to why. But I don't know, to be honest.
It was probably just to make that public appearance to,
listen,
the new golden boy.
They were probably just on a tour of Europe, thought they'd stop by in Manny.
yeah, exactly.
You know,
comment here.
These people have private jets; they can go wherever they want.
Oh, mate, they call in 5 minutes and they're out of there. Will this speculation increase United's current share price? I don't know. That's one of those interesting things, because it's not the sort of PR that the Glazers will want necessarily. But I mean, there probably will be a spike in the share price on the stock market, because people get excited. You just never know.
I'm sure they'll be hoping for something like that. Any kind of speculation to drum up the share prices.
Yeah, I mean they've been selling those fan B shares with no voting rights for ages. So some people are like, maybe that's the sign they're going out. But
I mean, my concern is that they're seeing some of the stuff that Barcelona are doing, and they might see it as a blueprint. So if we are starting to lose money by way of sponsorships and other things, I have a feeling that these people will think, do you know what? There's other things at the club we can sell off in order to make money.
And that would not surprise me in the slightest. I mean, it's the blind leading the blind in most instances.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen it now. You know, the Camp Nou's called what, the Spotify Camp Nou now.
It's ludicrous.
Old Trafford is such an iconic name, and it's only a matter of time before these guys sell the naming rights to that and things of that nature.
I think if it gets to that point, you will see a real kickoff. Like, I'm talking Super League levels here, because
but even in the last 10 years, Josh, you've seen it with the kind of deals that we're doing. When Nike pulled out, that was a massive red flag.
Definitely.
When Adidas came in, they structured the deal specifically so that they pay less money on years that we're out of the Champions League.
Exactly, and that's been a very big thing for a lot of these players. Like Ronaldo whoring himself around Europe. Like, he's like, it's not about the pay cut, but it's a big part of it. A big part of it.
With that one though, it's a bit random, because I mean, what did you think you were coming back to, Ronnie?
That's it. I mean, look, I can say, like, the season before last, it was promising. Second. After finishing in third, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, maybe there's something there. And
I mean, I can understand the frustration at not finishing in the Champions League positions, but then if you were that concerned about the Champions League, maybe you should have had a clause in the contract.
Well, I mean, the club was going down early in the season anyway. You could see it.
The writing was on the wall.
You think, okay, maybe I can get a move in January he could have gone to Atletico at that point, because they were in
they had protests over there. They don't want him.
Oh yeah, no, I know that, but I mean,
because of the Madrid connection, I think there's too much bad blood there.
Yeah. So, what do you make of the recent news that De Jong's agent? Where are you with the whole De Jong thing at the moment? Do you think that's going to happen, or is he?
It's a saga that's going to go all the way down to deadline day. I wouldn't even be surprised if it goes beyond that, to be honest. I mean, my initial thoughts in the very beginning, it gave me horrible flashbacks to the summer of 2013 when we chased Cesc Fabregas, only to end up with Marouane Fellaini.
Talk about a drop off, mate. Same deal with bloody Arnautovic.
And the worst part of that, Josh, was that we had to pay $4 million more than we needed to for Fellaini, because we let his release clause expire.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was really annoying, especially because the following summer, Chelsea got Fabregas done so quickly, because it was a World Cup year as well. And I remember they went and done competent business. They got Diego Costa and Fabregas done before the start of the World Cup.
And that's how they should do business.
And that's how you do business. And I remember, I think it was offset as well, because PSG had that crazy offer for David Luiz that year. So the net spend was looking real good as well.
Oh, definitely. But we know net spend's not an actual thing. That's just the numbers on the paper. Because
in terms of that, it does matter though, because it's a sign of doing good business.
Yeah, it's good for the PR as well. They're just like, well, we like Chelsea, they sold Lukaku, and who'd they bring in? That like they basically balanced their books in that regard. City went and sold
10,
15 players, and they got Haaland.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, see, that Lukaku situation is an interesting one, because if that was United, we'd still be stuck with him. Whereas Chelsea identified the problem, they were willing to accept the loss and just ship him out. Fair enough, he's not off the books, but at least the wages are gone for a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there anything you want to cover? Anything that tickles your fancy that you want to talk about? Because this is an open arena. Anything you want to?
Not particularly, because it's all doom and gloom at the moment, isn't it, mate?
Oh, tell me about it. It's real long.
I'm clutching at I'm clutching at straws to try and be positive, because I don't like to bring the mood down. But man, it is quite difficult at the moment.
Yeah, on the stream yesterday with Anthony, I basically, I've said I've checked out of this. I'm just tired of this transfer window. I will reconvene at the end, see what the players in, players out are, and then make a decision. Maybe have some excitement. That Burnley game was a wake up call for a lot of us, I think.
Listen, Brighton, especially after losing their two best players as well. Brighton. With Cucurella and Basuma out of the team, you would have thought we would have put up a better fight, but they were so well organised, well drilled, and we were in utter shambles.
See, that's the thing. They're always like that, but they honestly didn't play that well themselves.
No,
not really.
No.
We were just the worst of the two bad teams.
We were just they look like strangers out there half the time. But I think with Ten Hag trying to implement his system, I think it's going to take time, because he needs players that fit that philosophy. We've got a lot of players that aren't built for his system, and you would have seen it in the game as the game went on, mate. A lot of these players, when the going gets tough, they revert back to their default.
Yes, exactly.
They just go back to what they know, and I'm not sure you can coach that out of them. They're just too used to that after years upon years of adhering to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Twisted has a comment there for you. Do you want CR7 to stay?
For me, it makes bugger all difference, because he's not the long-term solution anyway. Obviously, in the short term, it hurts us because we've got no other options.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd rather have a body than not have anyone there. And obviously,
that was the argument for Arnautovic too. Oh, what a shit show that would have been.
We'll have to get into that. But for Ronnie, in the short run, obviously you need to have bodies there, and he does provide goals. Granted, be it the limited version of himself that he is at 37. And if he goes, I don't mind either, because it frees up wages and it sort of pushes us towards the rebuild a bit sooner.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because like I had the thoughts, like I'm not fussed either way, much like yourself, but I'd lean more towards wanting him to go, not out of any other reason than he is sort of a delay on what Ten Hag's looking to get. Like, he's not going to be that fluid guy that Rashford, Martial, Sancho can.
And this is the thing: if he leaves, it might be a thing where we have to just put a band-aid on it for now. We might have to bring in a short-term signing. But what it does do is that it means we're in a stronger position next summer with the wages freed up. You can identify your targets early and get them in.
Yeah, and I think that's crucial. That's something. Oh shit, bumping everything. Yeah, that's really something to, I guess, to see what's going to happen in the coming weeks, because like I'm not too sure how this is going to go. I've literally just turned off anything. I've muted De Jong. I've muted Ronaldo on Twitter at the moment. It's just it's not even a mental health thing. It's just like I'm sick of hearing about it. There's eight of the same story every day.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, for me, I check every couple of days. I can't do the day-to-day stuff. It's just they just regurgitate the same thing, don't they? And it's never ending.
It's such a cesspool too. It's so easy to get carried away in the negativity at Twitter.
Yeah,
like that's the
thing. That too. Yeah. Because it's very polarizing opinions online, so you got to try and stay away from that as well.
Yeah, although if you ever find Anthony online, he's actually been trolling Barca fans. That's worth a read. He's even going after Arsenal and Tottenham and other people there. So yeah, but, all right. Well, look, I'm going to actually get the stream ended now. But thanks for coming on and having a chat, man. Like,
no worries.
That's good, yeah. But there'll be more shows coming up, more chances to call in. So yeah, I'll be dropping randomly in and out. I haven't got a set day, anything. But yeah, yeah. Thanks for jumping in.
Just drop it in the chat as well, mate. I'm sure others would love to jump on with you as well.
Yeah, bro. No, definitely. I think I did pin the comment, I think, for the StreamYard. But yeah, I'll definitely leave a post comment, maybe even a couple of tags or whatever, just links all the channels yourself. And yeah, I'll just thanks for joining us, man, and I'll chat to you next time.
No worries. Take care.
All right, cool. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's it from me. Yeah, Brush had some really good things to say there, and I think his opinions mirror a lot of United fans. Where do you go from here? Like, this is the thing. I hope this Micheal Knighton Consortium story does come to fruition. It's one of those hopes that I think a lot of United fans have really wanted to see for a long time. And like I said, all of these Saudi links and this in the past, they've been non-starters. They've been paper talk. I even remember some Spanish royal family was linked at one point. I was like, "Oh, what about this?" And shared it with someone in the socials, and they're like, "Nah, man, they're not going to do it." And just learnt the hard way. Being new to the football world for the most part on socials. But yeah, look, that's it from me, guys. That's one of the first Josh Reacts that you've seen. There will be more. There will be a lot more content coming up. Myself and Anthony are on a few nights a week. Keep an eye out for Dan and Jesse at some point in the mornings. They do their own shows, and at some look out for team builders, news updates. And while you're here, drop a like, subscription if you so desire. Share the content out if you like what you see. I'm Josh at UFC. I have my own channel as well if you want to go and check it out. But yeah, that's it from us, guys. Thank you for joining us on Talk Football, and we'll see you all again next time. Later, guys.